Well, we're in the shop, and it's dirty and there's cats like always. But I got a little bit of a different project here. I got these engines, but I can't work on them because I got to fix the mailbox. There was a car accident in the front yard the other day, and they took out the mailbox. And, well, you can see it's pretty well messed up. There's the front of it. And Pa went to the store and got a mailbox, but all they had was plastic. And I don't like the idea of having a plastic mailbox on the side of a county highway. So, I am going to use a rubber mallet, and I'm going to beat this thing out. I already got it all figured out. I can stick a piece of wood in there and probably pound it out. And actually, I can probably open it up right here because it's just held together by screws, and probably pound it out like that. But we'll see. So I'm going to take this piece of wood off, just a screw, and this piece, just some more screws there. Actually, maybe I don't need to. We'll see. But I'm going to do something here, and I'll get back to you in a minute. Alright, so I got it all apart now. I got the bottom out. I got the pieces of wood out. And this last screw in this piece of wood was so tight in there, I ended up having to just break the sheet metal to get it out. But that's no problem. I'll just drill a new hole a little bit farther back. We're not trying for a talent show. We're just trying for something that the snowplow won't break the first time it snows. So, here's the bottom of it. And it just fits right like that, obviously. And it's got the edges, they're curled up. And the edges curl up and meet up with these holes here. And then you just screw them in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the vice grips, and I'm going to just make a flat piece of metal, and then I will, once I have the edges bent down, I'll take this piece of wood and lay it on there and use a rubber mallet and just pound it until I have a flat piece, and then I'll take the vice grips again and I'll curl the edges back up. It's only sheet metal. This might be 18 gauge, maybe. So, I mean, it's not hard to work with. I don't need a torch to heat it up or anything. So I'm going to do that, and we'll see how it works. Alright, so pounded on it a little bit, bent the edges down, and I think that's pretty good for just pounding it with the mallet like that. And, this edge is still pretty wrinkled up, but I'm not going to get that any better unless I cut that piece out and weld a new piece in. But I don't have a welder, and I don't really care that much. It's not all that bad. So I'm going to take the vice grips again, and I'm going to bend the edges up. You can see the crease marks here where it bends up. So I'm going to do that, and it shouldn't be too hard because it's thin metal, plus I pounded it flat. So I'm going to do that, and then we'll get on to this. So I'll be back in a minute. Alright, so we're getting there. I got the two edges, the two sides bent up, and they're not the straightest in the world. But you know what? They're good. Oh, I got to fix that corner. That's too bent. But you know what? They're good enough. All I did, I laid it down like this. I took the vice grips and I bent it up, kind of on the crease, and then I took a block of wood here that I cut from that strip and just laid it across and used a rubber mallet, and I held the edge and the wood together and then just pounded on the metal with the mallet. And then when I got it all pretty straight, I put it on its side and took the mallet and hammered all that down to kind of even it out. And you know what? It's, not perfect, but I'm not going to get much better than that. So, now I got to do the two ends. And and then I can do something with that. But this is honestly a lot harder than I figured it would be because, I don't know, it's an old mailbox, obviously. But so, I'm going to do these ends, and there's Jamie. Jamie, say hi, Jamie. Hey, hey. Yeah. So I'm going to do those ends, and I'll see you in a couple minutes. Well, I got the door off here, and it's all mangled, you know, and man, that was a chore. It's just riveted, and here's where it was riveted. And I couldn't pop the rivets because they're too thick, so I had to just pull them through the sheet metal. So all I'm going to do is when I go to put the door back on, I'll just use sheet metal screws and just put them a little bit to the left or to the side of where the rivets are. So now I'm going to straighten this out. I'm going to make a flat piece of metal maybe. Actually, no, I'm not, because this side is pretty much good. It's just this side that's messed up. So I'm just going to lay it down like this and then use a piece of wood or something and pound in there. Well, I'm almost done with the actual mailbox here. I haven't even started on the door. But this is a pain because I'm trying to get it flat like this, or close to it, but at the same time it's got to be rounded. So here's where we're at now. I mean, I'm going to paint it, but yeah, I'm trying to get all the big dents out. I don't really mind if there's some little ones because, I mean, people are doing 60 miles an hour past it. They're not going to stop and look, but I want it to be presentable. So I'm just trying to get the big dents out, like this one here. So yeah, that's all I'm doing really right now, and once I get that done, I'll update y'all. Well, I pounded on it a little more until I broke my second piece of wood. And, you know, it's not too terrible. So I'm just going to straighten this out. That way I can hook it onto the bottom there real good. And then I'm going to move on to the mailbox. And I don't want to say the mailbox is going to be, or not the mailbox, the door. I don't want to say the door is going to be easy because, I don't know, this actually looks like pretty thick metal. But we'll see. Alright, so it's been about a half hour and I've been using a cinder block as an anvil. I figured out that would work better after I split my table in half. It was junk anyways, but I got the door pretty much reformed. Just like everything else, it's still not perfect, but it's not in the shape of a U no more. So, what I gotta do is I gotta cut a couple pieces of this wood here with the saw, and I gotta stuff those pieces of wood in here, and because I'm just doing it the way I had it before I took it apart. And then this is gonna go in here, and I'm gonna run a screw from the outside of here in through there and into the wood, and that should keep all that together. Then for this, I'm gonna drill a new hole right about there and just put a sheet metal screw or something in there, and then just put it a little bit over on the mailbox. That'll be fine, and then we should be good. So first we got to cut the wood, and that looks like about, I don't know, a foot and a quarter. So we're going to cut the wood, and we'll be back in a minute. Alright, so I cut some pieces of wood here, and I had to cut 3 to fill that bottom. And to make it easier on myself, I screwed them all together. So now I'm going to slide it right in here, right like this, maybe. There we go. Got it in there now. So now, all I got to do is put it in here, and then put screws through here and through here to hold it on. So I'm going to do that, and I'll get back to y'all.